Welcome, everybody, to the Hebrew Rebels podcast. My name is Jordan with...
Taylor.
And my name is Ethan with...
Maya.
And this is not only the Hebrew Rebels podcast, but is also the first episode of Climbing the Ranks, which is our Patreon exclusive show, but we wanted to give you the first episode for free because it is in honor of Star Wars Day, and this is always the first list that we wanted to do, ranking all the Star Wars properties, movies, shows, not games today, but maybe eventually games, ranking our merch.
Cups.
I actually,
Bars.
oh no, I have some merch with me, but
They made a Star Wars bar.
Lego sets.
I went to a NASCAR
Like a
race in
rogue.
like 2002 or something, and there was a
Yeah.
Phantom Menace car, I think. It was really cool.
That's amazing.
But yeah, we've been
How many
wanting to rank
times did we
Star
rank?
Wars. How many times do we rank things?
Yeah. No, ranked Star Wars over the years.
Once.
3 official times? Once?
Just
Okay.
once. And that was just the Skywalker saga, but now that with all of the shows and everything since then, we've wanted to like do a big official ranking, but not only like our individual lists, but the collective average list. So yeah, I've been very excited for this, and I think this is the perfect first episode. So if you like this format, please check it out on Patreon, and we'll do more things like Disney rides. Maybe we'll rank Doritos. What about you? What would you want to rank if you could rank anything?
Ooh, Six Flags rides.
Six Flags rides. Maya, what about
yes.
you?
Math equations?
That's a tough one.
Pythagorean theorem, number 1.
Quadratic equation, number 2.
Yeah.
Look at this! Look, everybody's
I
ready.
know. I'm impressed. Come back to me.
Could you recite it right now?
Oh, we're not going to do
Yeah,
that.
let's not do
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Maya's off the clock. Let's keep it all
Yeah.
fun.
Okay, well, first order of business, I guess, is what order do we go in? Do we go in order of chronological release or, chronological order or release order?
Release order.
Release order? Okay.
Yes. Or do we do reverse release order?
I was
'Cause I did
kind
think
of...
about-
Either way, I was going to say, should we do it reverse? Because I think in general, I
Yes.
think some of the better things are at the top of both of those lists.
We're going to do reverse.
Either way, I think we should do reverse. But you want to do reverse release?
Either or. I think reverse release.
Let's do reverse release. All right. Well, let me bring up the list here for everyone to look at. And that means that we are going to start with Ahsoka.
Perfect.
Came out in 2023. And who wants to go first?
Why don't we go in reverse order of names, and you can finish this off each round?
Okay. That means Maya goes first.
That does mean Maya goes first.
So do I tell you where I put Ahsoka?
Yes.
Yeah, give us the number.
Jordan.
Give us the number.
So
Okay.
the way we're gonna do this is we each have our own list, where we've ranked all of the movies and shows, the main ones,
Yes.
and so we have 4 separate lists. Each property will have a value, and then the average value of the 4 will be the spot on the definitive list.
Yes.
Which means you might hate our list,
Yeah.
but who cares? Because people have done a million of these, and this is our list, and I think we're going to get some interesting categorization rather than arguing over what's the best. We're going to go with what our favorite is, and I guess whatever that means to everybody. I did want to ask, gut level, how did you guys put your list together?
Like technically or like mentally? Like what
Mentally.
criteria?
Yeah.
Do you want to start? I know we were talking about this upstairs. It was tricky, huh?
Yeah. It was hard for me with the important spots, obviously, like first, like, do I pick one that I feel has iconic characters, iconic scenes here and there, but I don't necessarily want to throw it on all the time, or do I put one that's kind of nostalgic, could watch it anytime, from start to finish, put it on at any point, be like, let's watch it. Like, kind of hard to pick my favorite when those are really tied, and even then, the runner-up didn't necessarily get second place. Like, second place was already secured, so that meant they go into third, and so it was just things started trickling, and it was intense.
I tried to do it like, if I could only have one of these for the rest of my life, what would I keep? And that was fine until I got to like the top 5, and then I'm like, I want them for different reasons. So I just had to kind of go with my gut at that point.
Yeah, I definitely went with my gut. I think like first was like, I mean, I've had lists in the past, so I kind of started off of that because I think about this way too much. But it was like, what do I want to watch? What do I actually at the end of the day want to put on? And because that's clearly what my favorite is. And then if I really got stuck, it was like, okay, but what if I was stuck on a desert island and I could only pick one of these? Because that adds a little bit longer of a tail rather than like short term. I just kind of went with it.
I ended up making 4 lists, and each time like refined it, because like there were so many points where I was like, man, do I put this second? Do I put it third? Like, and I would just like give it a spot, and then I would think about it more. So I ended up finalizing it on the 4th draft.
Maya made 4 lists based on 4 different criteria and then averaged those to get her final list.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
That's amazing.
No, but yeah, some of them came down to like, okay, would I really want to watch this again? Is how I like, that was this deciding factor. What do I really like watching and throwing on? And what can I see myself watching again? Yeah.
Shockingly, there are... I'm sorry, keep going.
I was going to say, when it came to the bottom of the list, some of them I just am like, maybe they all can take one spot together.
Yeah. Anywhere towards the bottom.
It gets messy down there, yeah.
Yes, it does. So
I definitely didn't go off initial watching reaction, or Rise of Skywalker would be my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, we could do this for the IMDb top 100, and you would still be like, Rise of Skywalker #1.
Yeah. Have to.
Yeah,
Anyways.
I have some thoughts about that, but we'll get there. Okay, Ahsoka.
I put her 11. I'm surprised it's not in my top 10, but I ranked her 11.
Should we fire sale, give our rankings, and then talk about it?
Let's fire and then discuss. Yeah.
Okay.
I also had it 11.
Okay.
That's
Nice.
crazy.
Yeah.
I had a 12.
12, and I have it at 14.
There we go. That's pretty close.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's a consensus, I think.
I think that's where it kind of belongs.
Yeah.
You said you're surprised you didn't have it in the top 10. Why is that?
Because I love Ahsoka. She's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
And part of me is like hoping, like I think the show's gonna get better too, so it might move up in the ranks. I feel later on, but right now it's like it is where it is.
I'll echo that. I totally agree, because the reason I love it so much is it's Rebels live action. But I do feel like a season 2 could be much better.
Yes. Did you like it? It was your first time seeing a lot of these characters, so...
Yeah, I think I've seen a little bit of... Is it Clone Wars? She's in
Clone Wars, and then a lot of those characters are from Rebels as well.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of that, and I know she was, like, younger, kind of more attitude, spunky, but I think I just expected a lot more, like, you know, kicking ass, taking names. Like, I just wanted her to come in and be, like, really cool and really dope, and I feel like a lot of it was just zen, and she was very just like smoldering into the camera, and like I'm sure they're building, that's how these shows are, you know, you gotta build it up, but I'm waiting for her to kind of something happen and she kicks it into gear and she's like, I won't tolerate this.
I personally
That's shockingly accurate.
Yeah.
I did not like her.
At this point. Yeah.
I did not like her in the show. I did not like Sabine. I thought they ruined Sabine, honestly.
Yeah.
I found the show very frustrating. There was things in it that I loved. Obviously, the Anakin parts were incredible, but I understand Ahsoka being the way that she is. She does get more stoic the older she gets, but I just kind of found her annoying in this show, and she could be cooler, but I thought Sabine was awful.
I wouldn't go as far as awful, but my favorite part of the show is definitely Ezra.
Yes.
And like when I was thinking on like where to put this, that's what I kept thinking about. I was like, oh, Ezra is so good.
He was
Yeah.
perfectly cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, surprisingly, like the two kind of like Sith, like master and apprentice that was hunting them the whole time,
Unconfirmed Sith.
I thought they were awesome. I thought they were
Yeah.
so cool, such like great kind of like morally ambiguous characters, like obviously fighting for the dark side currently, but I thought they were great, and it just everything around it frustrated me, sadly.
What were you gonna say?
I agree with the Sabine part, where like that character, they just really could have. She was so cool in Clone War, or sorry, in Rebels.
Yeah.
That like, yeah, I think they should have done her character and her storyline a lot better.
I mean,
than what it-
talk about kicking ass. There's few characters, let alone like female characters in Star Wars, who kick ass as much as she does. She doesn't need help
Yes.
from anybody, and she seems
Yeah.
so helpless in this show.
Yeah.
I should be tighter on my timeline, but did she recently like go through something?
Yes, Ezra.
Yeah, maybe that. Maybe losing Ezra, and she
Even
lost the Darksaber and all of that. So
But at this
it
point,
could
it's
be
been a
the
while too, right?
ramifications.
Yeah.
I guess she still needed some more time.
Yeah, fair. Get over it. I don't know.
Yeah.
All
Hopefully
right,
season 2 is better.
we are getting one, right? Like for sure.
I think so. Yeah. R.I.P. to Balin. We'll see what they do with that.
Yeah, I know. That sucks. He left off on like kind of a cliffhanger, literally cliffhanger too. Like, what is he looking at?
A lot of setup in this season.
Yeah. Should we move on to the next item?
Yeah.
Yes.
So technically, chronologically, next or release order
so that
next
means
is
Ahsoka's number 1 right now.
that's right. I
On
have
our
to
live
keep
list.
it. We'll have to check in every once in a while to see. But okay, so next we have Jedi Survivor. We're not going to rank that. I would have it rather high. We also have Tales of the Jedi. We're not going to rank that because we have not all seen it. We might lump those in someday, but we're going to skip those for now. Next would be Andor. Maya, you want to kick it off?
Andor. 15. I ranked it 15.
All right. I ranked it 14.
Oh wow. Okay.
I also have it 14.
And yeah,
Go ahead.
I also have it 15.
Hey,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
We are cooking right now.
In sync.
How many are there in total?
19.
We all
48.
have slightly different
I was
amounts.
about to say,
I think
I haven't seen the animated, so I mean, for me, that's last.
there you go. Well, still, I mean, that's still accurate. Like I didn't leave in Jedi Survivor. That's why I had to fix. Like I had it in there. I had to move it off so I have my true like numbering down.
Yeah.
That's your last place. Okay, you start. Tell us why.
I did not like it. I'm trying to think back to even speak on it, and besides that guy eating cereal in his mom's apartment every day,
Yep.
and I just oftentimes I was too confused, and then by the time I figured out what was going on, it was not worth the work. I think there was one episode that I liked, and the rest were fillers.
Anyone else want to go next?
Andor was an interesting one because it was very different than anything else that we've kind of seen with Star Wars. My favorite part of it was probably the prison. Just seeing that part of the Star Wars universe. But when I think back on it as a whole, and when I think like, do I want to put this on and watch it again? I'm kind of like, eh. Like it's him running around with his mom. Kind of being, I don't know. He wasn't Cassian from Rogue One.
No, understandably. Or no, he should have been. Nothing.
I feel like
Cassian
a
doesn't
little
really
bit more.
change. He just learns to trust Jin. He's kind of the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
throughout. Yeah, I did not like the show either. I thought it was slow, and I enjoyed the like heist arc, but I didn't really know what it was for. And then the prison also was interesting. I liked seeing like a Star Wars prison like that, but that lasted for 3 episodes, and then he just leaves. And also, he kind of was put into prison for no reason. He just got arrested for. I don't even know. I don't. He was.
That's the Empire. Though.
Yeah.
And I do like seeing that side of it, of showing like, no, this is how effed up the universe is now that the Empire is like random people can just be thrown in a prison to die.
Yeah. Maya?
I just forgot what happened completely in that show. Like, and I think I looked at Ethan and I was like, what happened in Andor? Like, what was the goal of that show? So it's like, yeah, I don't even remember what they were trying to achieve. And he reminded me of the prison, and I was like, oh yeah, some things like started coming back, but
He was in
not
there,
a show I would like put on again.
No.
So that's why it's kind of on the lower.
he was in there with Gollum.
He was in there with Gollum and
Caesar.
Caesar and the dude
Somebody
from
else.
Black Panther.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And
Literally.
also just Andy Serkis. Like actual Andy Serkis.
Echoing what we said from Ahsoka, I'm very excited for a season 2 because it will be much closer to
Yeah.
Rogue One, which I'm hoping will give me more of what I want. That's why I was very excited for this show. I was really excited for this leading up to it. The trailers made it look much more like exciting than it was, but it was just kind of a lot of hiding.
I thought for sure this would be the Cassian and K2SO show.
Season 2 has to have K2.
Like, I thought it would just be them on their little adventures, and it was like, no.
We did get one good droid, but he never moved.
Yes,
Bimo or
that's
whatever.
true.
He was so
Dog.
sad. Remember him? He was a dog.
I always remember the droids.
I do have to say, I did kind of enjoy seeing the Mon Mothma beginning of the Rebel Alliance building on Coruscant. Like, that was an interesting angle of like, oh, okay, this is kind of how they got started and getting their funding, and like, it was a dirty start to things. But at the same time, like, I forgot.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Ooh. Maya?
Oh my god. Okay. I keep going back and forth putting this one 12 or 13 because it has potential. But I think my final decision was 13.
Okay.
Lucky number 13?
Yeah.
Or unlucky number 13? I was surprised where I put this. 15 for me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Taylor?
9.
9.
There we go.
And for me, it is 13.
13.
Oh, there you go. We've matched at least once on each one so far.
Okay. So there we go. We have all our scores. Ethan, I want to start with you. You said you're surprised at where you put it. Why?
Because every time I think about it, I just think of like sad PTSD Obi-Wan. And like, I liked seeing more Ewan, but it's like he was just sad the whole time and like scared. And I know he like
Just
arced out of
sad.
that. But again, when I think about it, it's season 2 that I want, which is, all right, now Qui-Gon is here. Not just like, hey, by the way, I'm here at the end of the show. And I want to see him training to become Force Ghost. That's
Right.
what I want. Leia was great. The scene with Vader was great. But I'd rather just watch a clip of those and then watch season 2.
Would this have been a better movie? Probably. I feel like they had to stretch
No.
it out. No, you don't think?
No, because like a part 1 movie.
Maybe if they planned to
Yeah,
do more, but
probably.
like they had to fill too much stuff of things we didn't need. Like, just give us him
Right.
being alone, being sad, facing Anakin again, and like that's all I would have needed.
Leia was great. Like, shout out to the
She was really
actress, to her. Like, she was great. But it's the Obi-Wan show.
Doesn't it also introduce kind of an issue though of like Leia not knowing who he is, or not actually recognizing him or
Leia knew
acknowledging
who
that
he
she,
was.
Help me out.
She very much knew who he was. She was going and looking for him. Oh my god. Dark side force move.
That was amazing. That was great.
I'm like, this is coming for me.
That was hilarious.
Jeez.
I think Obi-Wan does not like where he got ranked.
Yeah, he's pissed.
I put him the highest.
No,
I
in
know.
episode 4, doesn't she say something about like she talks as if she doesn't know who he is. Like she's heard about him, but she doesn't know him.
I would think the opposite.
She's like, my father told me how you helped him in the Clone Wars or something. It's like, why would your dad need to tell you that? Like, you and him had an epic adventure together. My only point is, I know we're saying that the Leia stuff is she was good, but it feels forced. It feels like they just had to make up a story, not filling in something that we needed filled in. It just feels like this thing that Disney keeps doing of giving us useless storylines and plots that are muddying the waters of the whole thing, and it's making me mad. You had it 9. You have it the highest of all of us. What do you think of it?
Oh, I gotta follow that up.
Oh my god.
well,
no, own it. Forget
on
him.
a softer note, I liked it. It's
good.
I mean, as we keep doing the ranks, we'll see where each other's preference lies. But I Obi-Wan, Anakin, Darth Vader, whatever, that whole dynamic, love it. It's nostalgic for me. I like tying a little bow on it and getting closure. It was fine. I liked it's the little girl.
Yeah.
Leia, right?
Yeah.
She was cute as a button. Loved it. Like, I mean, considering there's things like Andor and Ahsoka where I expect things, I did expect something from this, but I was just happy they were on the screen again together. And the epic fight battle, like, enough for me. I liked it.
Yeah, fair.
I'll just add, I don't really hate any of these, but
Yeah.
it's more of I like that one more.
Right.
You don't hate
It's okay that
any
you
of
dislike
these?
things. Yeah, I really don't at this point.
Okay.
It's Star Wars.
Alright.
I love it.
Fair.
I even wanted to put some other stuff higher. I'm definitely less critical than you, and I tend to be like with a lot of stuff.
Just wait.
Like
We'll
the
talk
Lakers.
about some of these.
Yeah.
Maya, did you say anything about Obi-Wan? I forget.
No, it was another one of those shows where I was like, what happened in Obi-Wan again? But I remember liking it, so... Because it's just been so long. Like, and then Ethan reminded me of the battle, and I was like, oh yeah, that was great. But yeah, it's another one where it's kind of like Ahsoka, where I'm surprised that it's not in the top 10. Because just off the name alone, I would think that those two shows would and should be in my top 10, but they're not. And I think it's because I'm waiting for season 2, hoping it gets better.
Again, do we know we're getting a season 2 of Obi-Wan?
It seems confirmed.
Does
Okay.
it?
They just haven't officially confirmed it.
I assume if you do a season 1, there's a season 2.
I
Am
know.
I wrong about that?
Unless they say this is a limited series.
Of all of them, this seems like the one
That might
that
not
probably
happen.
could not and would not get one. Because, again, he can just go hide in his hole for the rest of time until episode 4, and that's fine. Although, give us more him talking to Qui-Gon. But I think Liam Neeson said he doesn't want to do anything, right? Like, he doesn't...
He said, he said he wants to do more.
Are you really? Because I thought he said
he
he
said,
like
"I
doesn't
love
respect what
coming
they're
back."
doing now.
No, he said, I loved coming back. Like, I'd love to do more.
Okay, then good. Give it to me. I'll take it.
Underutilizing him. My boy.
My boy. Maya, where'd you put the Book of Boba Fett?
Ooh, Book of Boba. I put it 14, right above
Okay.
Andor.
I know that's Jordan's favorite show, so. I put it 16.
Oh, man. I put it 7.
Oh, wow.
Go.
Okay. I put it as at 16 as well.
Imagine.
I again should have been like a home run of a show, giving us a story about Boba Fett, who, surprise, is alive after all this time. They give us what we wanted, seeing him coming out of the Sarlacc pit, how he survived that, that was good, and Mando and Baby Yoda are probably the only other part of the show that I liked. I thought the rest of it was really slow and not cool. Boba is cool, but he was not cool in this show. He was just kind of standing there learning things from the Sand People. Those interactions were interesting. I liked seeing them being civil and, communicating and stuff. That was interesting, but not for me.
Yeah, probably like one of the more disappointing ones, considering Boba's like one of my favorite characters. But just because I have it at this level, like, doesn't mean there's some really cool moments in here. It's just like a lot of nothing around the good stuff.
Yeah.
I felt like
You really
it
liked
started
it?
strong.
Oh.
And then I
It
was gonna say
started
it felt
strong?
like it started strong, but then it got real.
Yeah.
I'm a binger, so if I sit there and I watch, 3 to 4 episodes at a time, kind of feels to me the length of watching 1.5 Star Wars movies. So I could see how it could like kind of drag towards the end, but considering I'm getting that action to slow to action to slow, and the episodes are kind of just merging together with start next one, I thought it was good. I didn't even realize, I mean, I knew he was in the movies before, but that like brief encounter and then pulling him out like right where we last saw him, I thought that was really cool. Something I didn't even think of. I mean, they jump around the timeline all the time. I don't know why I didn't think they wouldn't just go back and be like, all the while, this guy was over here, And like, I love Grogu. Them being in it automatically bumps it a little bit. And I thought it was cool. I liked, who's the girl that he's with?
Oh,
She's cool.
Ming-Na Wen.
Yeah, what's the character's name?
I'm blanking on her name.
I liked her.
From Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Fennec Shand.
Fennec Shand, yeah. The sniper.
Yep. Yes.
Yes.
I liked her.
She is cool.
And she's part robot now, right?
Yes. Did that happen in
Yeah.
that show? Or
feel
no,
like
they
it did.
explained how that happened after
He's
Mando.
like, look, I'm a
Yeah.
robot.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
the like modder guy.
Yeah, and naturally with the shows or anything newer, I think it doesn't have as much scrutiny from me because I'm not there to, in the moment, fact check or think if this is a good enough play of something. Is it doing it justice? All I knew was that little scene I saw and him being gone. So pulling him back and making it worth something, I'm like, that's really cool. But I'm sure people look at it and they're like, he was so badass. And I don't know if he's in any of the animated shows or if there's any more that kind of like shows that he's really cool or what we should have been expecting. But I mean, besides him being a little older towards the end,
Yeah.
he just was kind of an old man.
I disagree with the like he wasn't cool enough in this. I don't think it was about that. I think what people are looking for isn't Boba Fett at this point in his life. And I don't hold it against, honestly, like the thing I hold most against the show is the director. But I like how you called out like watching it like one at a time or watching it all together. Because I definitely think, because we watched this, I think 1 week at a time.
Yeah.
And I now want to go back actually and binge it. Because I think that would be a good experience.
I don't think any of these shows are good week to week. I don't think they're strong enough for that. I think you're totally right. I think if you can binge all of it or just 3 or 4 at a time, I think that helps.
Yeah. I think with shows, they set, especially Star Wars, they set them up in a way where you're waiting for next week, but then they fill all the time before trying to make sure it's worthy of the ending that they're setting you up for. And it's like, you got to make sure everything's kind of, in a show, spatially, even.
We always talk about this, if shows should be week to week or all at once, and it does depend on the show. But yeah, like if you've been looking forward to something and by the end of it you're disappointed and you waited week to week for that, that's going to make me like the show less. If I could just watch the whole thing in a couple nights, I'd be like, yeah, all right.
The ending sucked, but it was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they obviously don't know ahead of time. Someone should know, though. They should be able to test this with an audience and be like, okay, maybe let's just push this all out at once. I don't know.
so true, because that is what happened with Game of Thrones for me. Like, I loved that show, and then the last season, oh my god, it's now garbage in my mind.
I know,
Yeah,
and that's exactly what I was gonna say. Is like, I mean, House of Dragon, Game of Thrones, like they're so long. I think you need to have some space in between. People even rewatch them because they don't catch everything the first time. You spend half an episode trying to pin someone's name to their face to what they do.
Yeah.
And it's exhausting. So, but yeah, with Game of Thrones, I had no knowledge of it until years later. I was in college, and then I binged it all, and I was like, that was an amazing show. And everyone who I told I was watching, they're like, just quit, the last season's garbage. And I'm like, I get it, but I'm binging it, and this is all awesome. It's all good content.
Yeah.
I mean, the last season, it did suck, but it wouldn't change any of the other, like, greatness they spent that whole time building. I really liked it.
Yeah. Good discussion, guys.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Bring us on to the next one. What do we got
All
next?
right. Bad Batch.
Bad Batch was 12 for me.
I have Bad Batch at 10.
And I just want to say real quick, we're skipping Visions. Since that's not really canon or really any particular place in the timeline, we may not ever rank that, but we're skipping it. Neither of us have seen it. I have not finished it. I've seen maybe half of season 1, so I don't feel
Bad Batch?
like I appropriately rank it. So this is just going to be you guys.
Oh my god. Maya, what do you think about Bad Batch? We've watched 2 seasons. We have not watched season 3.
Okay, I like it. I don't like it as much as the other
As Clone Wars.
Clone Wars. I feel like
This is straight up the sequel to Clone Wars. Same animation style. Literally, they had episodes in Clone Wars. So this is like the continuation of Clone Wars. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, like, okay, I like the storyline. I like what they're going with. I like the Bad Batch. Like, I think it's a cool group of guys. I like how
And girl.
and girls. I like how
Omega.
what was the one that like went and stayed with like the dark side?
Oh, Crosshair?
Crosshair.
And no spoilers,
favorite.
because they haven't seen it all.
Oh, okay.
Jordan's
yeah,
favorite.
true.
His hair. I love him, and I love that he kind of stayed true to his character in the show.
Yeah.
I think I wanted more from who I think is like supposed to be the star of the show, which is, what is her name?
Omega?
Omega.
Yeah.
From Omega. I feel like I just want more. Like, they keep hinting at stuff about her and then not telling us anything, and I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm impatient, but like, how long do you want to keep me waiting?
We'll see if they get there in season 3.
Definitely spoiling. I can't
Well,
help it. I'm
Yeah, I was
No,
going
you're
to
not
say,
spoiling anything.
how much have you guys seen? The first 2 seasons?
First two
First 2
seasons.
seasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Third
So
season
it's
just
like
finished,
2
right?
seasons in.
Yeah, I think it's all out now, and
Yeah.
we will enjoy through that. So
Good.
We won't say any more. I really like Bad Batch, though. They continue the heart of Clone Wars, and I believe have you guys seen have you both seen the first episode?
No.
Yes, I have.
Oh, did you see it? Okay, yeah.
So I will call out that first episode of the whole show. I think is literally Order 66,
Yes.
and one of the coolest
Yes.
perspectives. We get to see Kanan as a child, if I'm remembering correctly.
With
So
his
that right
master,
there-
right? Yeah.
Yeah, that right there elevated it. For me, I was like in from the beginning. So
You said
I'm
it's a
excited to watch
continuation
season
of Clone Wars with some of the same characters. No kidding. I just watched an episode a couple nights ago with Trace and Rafa. I'm like, are you kidding me? These people again? They were the worst part of the end of Clone Wars. I'm like, no, not more of them.
Yeah.
So, I will finish it soon because I love the animated stuff. I'm surprised I never went back and finished it. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Is it time?
Rise of Skywalker.
Wow.
Which one's that one?
9.
9?
God, she just
Okay.
put the number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I feel like I should preface this for the audience. Like, I hate.
No, don't. You don't have to reference anything else. You just give us your
Okay.
number and then we'll talk about it.
It's 16. It's ranked
Okay.
16 for me.
Yeah.
I'll just say that.
That's fine.
Okay.
I have it 18.
13.
I also have it 18, and that is how many things I have ranked. 18.
There you go. That's I debated with that. This movie has fallen hard. Probably the hardest I've ever had a movie fall. Like, obviously we'll talk about the one before it next, but like this movie continues to get worse in my mind.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It is a cluster.
There are things about the other movie that we'll talk about later. There's more things in that I like, and there's more things in this that I dislike. This movie is so bad. Like, every time I watch it, I hate it more. I find more things that I hate about it. It's just such a rush job and a mess between the bouncing back and forth with the directors. I hate it. I actually hate this movie.
I can see them trying to fix things, and that's really bad.
This will begin to make things right. No, it will not.
There's a couple moments in this. This is the one movie that I never want to put on.
Yeah, I don't get anything out of this movie.
I'm just like, what is happening here?
Never want to put on? Man, I think there's worse out there.
That's your opinion. That's your opinion.
Yeah, there's 3 worst things. I'm actually curious what the worst things are for her. You have. Yeah. I know what one of them is, and I'm curious what the other 2 are, because at the moment I don't think I can think of them.
Okay.
There you go.
You just were watching this a little bit, right? What'd you think?
For the audience.
Sorry, we're all trashing it.
13 is second to last for me, so you have no apologies. Yeah. My rubric's a little skewed. No, it's not good. I'm confused in a lot of it, and not because they didn't do things clearly. Why did they do a lot of those things?
Why did you do that?
Yeah. So, I don't know. I didn't want to put it on. I just needed to read the little synopsis at the beginning and see where we were at, and I was like, yeah.
This thing had a lot going wrong for it, like between the directors, and it was made too quickly, and Carrie Fisher dying, like it had the decks stacked against it. But I also just realized.
I'll say this.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'll say this. So I think like my bottom 4 are just like all garbage, and like if they can just disappear, like a poof, disappear, they're gone. I wouldn't be mad about that, but I'll say the reason I put 9 at the top of the garbage list,
which I saw, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little offended.
But the reason I put it at the top is because I did like the fight scene between Kylo Ren and what's her name? Rey.
Which one?
At the end, the one where like there's the water everywhere and.
In the middle of the movie. That's not even.
Is it in the middle of the movie? Okay, well, whatever.
Is it? Yeah.
I don't know. I did like that fight scene. I thought
that was a cool moment. I remember enjoying it.
Moment, and like you got to see Kylo Ren's like strength. I think.
Is that the scene?
That is the scene. Yeah.
Okay. I have a question for you guys then. There's that whole scene, and then Leia distracts Kylo, so that way Rey can, get the stab on him.
She pointed out to me, I'm like, wait a minute, yeah, because Leia like does the Force hug to Kylo or whatever when she dies, and then Rey stabs him. It's like
she was like distracting him so Rey could get the jump on. I don't know. I was just confused because then Rey immediately heals him, and then it's like he comes back and he's like, "We're all good though. I'll just swap places with you."
That's the Death Star fight scene?
Yes.
I don't even remember that happening. I remember. No, isn't that where he like sees Han?
That's after.
After he dies?
After.
When he does the thing with Rey.
She heals him. She leaves in the TIE fighter or whatever. And then he like, I don't know, just gets up like he just finished a WWE fight to just like walk off, and then Han's behind him.
Well, he killed her husband.
That's what we're wondering. Like, was she trying to get him killed?
If my child stabbed her, and I had an opportunity to freeze him so he could get stabbed, I'm doing it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean, That's my
don't know
only
if I would
question
do that.
was that her goal? And then Rey was like, "Dang, you're evil, Ma. I'ma heal him," and then just like let him live. I don't know.
That's so
Well,
interesting.
we know how that movie ended. He loved him.
The
Terribly.
only thing I liked was the actual fight part.
Mhm.
Not anything that like not
Right.
not the storyline at all. It was
I
more
gotta
like
admit,
the cool scene and the cool fight.
I
Yeah.
do love the Force handing the lightsaber. That works for me. I thought that was really cool. But
Yeah.
the Knights of Ren wasted, totally stupid.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't get any backstory on them.
Yep.
Honestly, Palpatine being in it, terrible. I hated.
I'm not super against that. And they're gonna build that out in the universe. It makes sense that this dude had a contingency plan. Announcing it in Fortnite, and then everything's just so abruptly like changed. It just could have been executed so much better. It was more like, all right, how do we fix this? Back pocket. Rather than like, we had this crazy cool, like this dude had a plan and oh my god, it's gonna blow your mind. It didn't feel earned.
How do you guys feel about Rey Skywalker
I don't like her character.
No.
being
I'm
Rey
Rey.
Skywalker?
Oh.
Rey Skywalker.
I don't like that either.
It's-
I don't like anything.
One of the worst lines ever.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm messing things up. Hold on. All right. Well, we are
I will joke
skipping.
that-
Yeah.
This came out right around when we were gonna get married, and we were like talking about like what was she gonna do with her name and everything, and then this movie came out, and I joked, I was like, why don't we just do a new name, and we'll do Skywalker.
Oh yeah.
We'll get rid of both of our names, and we'll just become Skywalkers.
How would you feel about that today
Why?
if you did that?
Oh, horribly! No, yeah,
Yeah.
no. Obviously, that was a.
You're a
stupid idea.
Skywalker. You're a Skywalker. You're a Skywalker. Hate
More
it.
of an idea than a name.
It's a state of mind being a Skywalker.
I hope
It's like-
episode 10. Oh, go ahead, Taylor.
No, I had a thought the other day about Chris D'Elia. Am I Taylor D'Elia now? Because I just thought about them in passing. But like,
Yeah,
you know what?
yeah.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, me too.
Or it's whoever you're looking at when
Yeah.
they ask you what your name is. Like, I guess I'm guessing with that person.
Yeah.
I hope episode 10 opens with a flashback and she's just at like the galactic DMV or wherever you go, like removing Skywalker from her name.
They're like asking her for proof of the fact that she's a Skywalker, and she's like, well, just
It was really easy for Han. His DMV process was super easy, changing his name or adding his name. So it must not
That's
have been
true.
that hard a long
He didn't
time
even
ago.
pick it.
You guys ready for the next one?
We're ready.
Yes.
What's next? Solo?
Mandalorian.
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 Wait.
10.
Wait. What are we doing? Release order?
Yes.
yeah.
Did I mess something up? Is that right?
So
I don't
I don't
know.
know if it's
I don't
right
think it
on
matters
your
at this
list,
point.
but it's in the right going.
Yeah, release order.
Mandalorian.
Yeah,
came
that's
out
right, that's right.
between-
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also multiple
yeah.
seasons.
It came out
It was
just
right
before
after.
episode 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
Maya?
because they did the healing and then the healing happened
Yes.
in 9.
I ranked it 10.
I have Mandalorian 7.
2.
Oh, let's go. I have it at 6.
Oh, we
Um,
almost tied.
Okay.
Taylor, I want to start with you.
Yes.
I
Hype us up.
love it. Love it. Like I said, I'm a binger. TV shows are my thing. I've watched more movies since dating you, obviously, but TV shows have always been my thing, and I love it. I don't remember the last time I was getting to watch something Star Wars for the first time and being excited, like every episode even. I mean, with a movie it happens once and the whole time you're on, oh my gosh, I loved that whole thing, but I loved it. Grogu is unmatched. Cutest thing to ever exist besides Remy and Daisy, of course, but I mean, other than those, like, Grogu's really up there, and I don't know, I love that dynamic of, I mean, that long await for who is he? Who is he? Who is he? And then you finally get it, and it was so rewarding. And then, you know, he's so closed off and cold, and it takes a long time per episode for him to warm up a little bit. Grogu kind of brings him out of his shell. It's just, that's a mutual relationship that, to me, it mimics the Han and Chew. We don't get anything from Grogu verbally, but they are building each other so much. And with non-verbal communication, I mean, there are scenes in there that gave me goosebumps of Grogu saving him and vice versa. And I don't know, all the new stuff that I hadn't seen before, that I haven't been rewatching for context, I have not felt that excited about. All of these releases under it, they've been pretty low for me. This was the first thing, and based off of nothing in the past, I had no expectation. So it kept getting better. I loved it.
That's amazing.
I'll say for new Star Wars, because I consider this the beginning of new Star Wars. It's the first Star Wars TV show ever. It's the highest I have out of any of that stuff. I could easily have this higher. The episode 1 end of episode reveal, if we were doing Star Wars moments, would be
top 3.
Very, very high.
Yeah.
I love this show. I love Mandalorian. I have many good things that I could say about it. What do you think?
I love The Mandalorian. I feel like hearing 10 might seem like it's not ranked high enough, but that's just because, like, I love Star Wars, so it's just making the list. I have, like, nothing bad to say about this show. It's exactly what you said. They gave us Han and Chewie, but, like, with a Mandalorian and, you know...
Oh, whatever they are.
Yeah.
Whatever they are.
A Yoda.
A Yoda.
Like, a baby Yoda.
A baby. No, it's one of my favorite shows. I think maybe it's ranked. I don't know why it's 10. I just have a hard time, but like it's so good. Yes, I've nothing.
Yeah.
I'm wearing.
Yeah.
Cutest merch. If we're bringing up merch and stuff, let's talk about it.
He's on my underwear. I won't show it, but he's on my underwear right now.
No, you gotta show it.
I'll say Mandalorian is one of the first pieces of Star Wars to break through into the mainstream, where people do not know Star Wars, but they know Baby Yoda.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was a great show.
That's a testament.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think Baby Yoda is one of the most powerful characters of all time.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
even just for uniting like people. I mean, you know, Mandalorian would fly onto these places and he'd just drop down and need help on his ship, and that lady who always had her little droids coming around, and she pretty much was like babysitting him by the end of it, and like he was just able to, I don't know, he was powerful. He'd break down with Mandalorian and he could bring people together like the way you used to think like the Jedi did, or I don't know. It's just, I really liked it. He was powerful. I liked him.
The surprise, the fact that moment at the end of episode 1 was a pure, true surprise for everybody, that it didn't get spoiled or anything, that was amazing. The fact that there's, I think, bad episodes of this show, like honestly, there's almost all of season 3 I don't even remember. I have rewatched season 1 and 2. I don't remember season 3 hardly at all. Doesn't matter. This whole show is great.
I have to rewatch season 3.
There's perfect, fantastic characters, really fun scenes. The beginning of season 1, the end of season 2, also incredible.
Yeah.
Like, talk about chills. That whole moment was magical.
I like the villain from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Moff Gideon, yeah.
Yeah, I like him as an actor. He plays evil good. He makes me not like him.
Yeah.
And him being in there too, I was like, oh man, that's almost like putting Voldemort against my baby Grogu. Like, I was like, it's as bad as it gets, but I liked it.
Yeah, I think the show's so good because like it touches things that we're familiar with. Like, it kind of links to things that we're familiar with throughout the timeline, but for the most part it's kind of separate, and I think that's good because, like I'm saying, where they're kind of forcing storylines with things like Obi-Wan or Andor or something, it's like, I didn't need that. But this, it can be whatever. It should be whatever without having to cram it somewhere in the timeline that we're familiar with. So I think it's a fantastic show, and I can't wait for the movie.
Yes, oh my god, the movie is going to be incredible. That's my most anticipated by far.
Yeah.
Two things to add: two RIPS. The Mandalorian game that we are no longer getting that leaked out. They need to figure that out so
I
we can get a
know.
Mando game.
That would be so cool.
And RIP Grief Karga, Carl Weathers, one of
Dude,
the best
I know.
supporting characters in Mandalorian. They'll give him a send off on whatever the next season.
Sad.
Is, however they do it.
Ah, man, what a show! Bravo Disney for that, and for a few other things, but bravo Disney for that.
It gave us IG droids in action. We've always known they're assassin droids, but we've only known how deadly they are from Shadows of the Empire, the old N64 game where you can't kill the friggin' droid. And dude, IG-88, man, he went off.
Very cool. We're gonna skip Resistance. We have not seen. I do want to watch it because I've heard it's not great, but I do want to know what's up with that. So we're gonna go to Solo.
Last place, 19.
Oh wow, I was not expecting that. Okay.
There you go. I have it 17.
I was also.
Okay.
Jordan, we saw this in
11.
theaters together. Sorry.
We did.
You're okay.
Okay.
I also have it at 11.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that's in the middle for me, and that's very, very much towards the bottom for all of you guys. Maya, why is it last place for you?
I think I just wanted more from this movie. Like, I think it started great, and it was just another one of those things where I just don't like how it ended. I don't know.
You don't like the spaghetti
I don't
monster?
even know. I don't like the spaghetti monster, no. It was very political, but like not in a like enriching way. I don't know, like not in a like clever way either. It was just like kind of obvious to me. I don't know. I just didn't enjoy it. Yeah.
Taylor?
What do you think? Yeah.
That's the one with Amelia Clarke.
Yes.
I think Amelia Clarke's cool. I liked her character, but I don't think I even watched this before I met you because I didn't really have an interest, or if I did, I left. Like, it's not something I finished, so I don't know. It wasn't bad. It's one of those ones that I feel like a fraud even ranking because I don't really have much to say on a negative way or a positive way. It's perfectly just not that memorable, but not necessarily bad. I don't know.
That's an opinion in its own way.
Yeah.
That's
Ethan?
before so I have this. I don't hate this movie. I enjoy it way more than I think the rap that it gets. I think it came out at a bad time because it was on the way. There was like a few things. It was on the wave of Last Jedi, and there was another. Was it Endgame or something? Like there was a massive release that this was up against, either Infinity War or Endgame or
Infinity
something.
War.
I think they released this at the wrong time, where like people didn't want to go see it. I don't think they marketed it well. They had to bring Ron Howard in at the end to kind of like salvage it. Like they got this thing out by the skin of its teeth, or their teeth, or however it goes. I don't hate this movie. I'm just like not implored to put it on. Like it I don't know what to do with it. Mm-hmm. It's like on an island. I love seeing Han and Chewie. Props to Alden Ehrenreich, or however you say his name. I think he did a great job. I think Donald Glover did a good job. I do think he's a little overrated in his Lando portrayal, which is like super controversial. It just felt like it was like a little try hard. I don't know if I've expressed this on like in this format before, but like it's like a guy doing Lando. Like
Sure.
Because what's his name? Billy
D. Williams.
Billy D. Williams is just, as Lando, is just so money and so easy and so smooth. And like, yeah, I can see him doing Lando. It just feels a little, I don't know.
Yeah.
That might be this whole movie overall.
I agree with that. I think, yeah, he did a fantastic job of it, but you're right. It is too much of emulating and not, is that the right word? Or not, but not making it your own. I also don't. love Alden
sorry.
Ehrenreich that much. He's so distracting for me. We watched that video of like the deep fake of Harrison Ford on his face. I still don't think the voice is that good. I just think this movie's
For sure.
fun. It's not good, really, but I find parts of it very fun, and that's all it needed to be. I agree, it came out at the worst time. Like, it's the only one that came out in the summer, off the heels of
Yeah.
the most polarizing movie in all of this, Episode 8. So
Yep.
that probably sent a lot of people away as well. Like, yeah, terrible timing. I would watch more of this. It was supposed to get another couple movies, I think. I think Alden signed on for 3 or something. We'll see if they do a TV show. They are doing the what's his name? Donald Glover character?
Lando?
Lando, yeah, they're
Lando?
doing a Lando show.
Yeah.
I do want more of
Haven't-
this, but it's a little cheesy. It's cheesy Disney-fied stuff.
I love seeing the crime syndicate. Interesting. I thought of this. I feel like he wasn't trying to do Han's voice, and I actually
Yeah.
like that more because you're never gonna sound like the original person.
Right.
But all in all, this is the first one where we have other actors playing people.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
the only one, and it just comes off bizarre
Yeah. For
at
sure.
the end of the day.
Yeah. Hello, but the Darth Maul moment was epic.
Incredible.
Yes, I love
And-
that also.
Disappointing because they haven't done anything with it since.
Mm.
No.
I don't know how they can,
Hopefully.
but
Don't even.
I definitely wanted more out of that. But
And
that
show.
was very, very cool. Yeah.
We want
Yes.
more Ray Park.
Give us all the Ray Park.
Mm-hmm.
Are we ready to move on?
We are.
We are.
Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Maya.
18, second to last.
Oof.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to make an audible?
You
Because
haven't said anything.
sealed it. We
Oh.
haven't sealed our list in Carbonite yet.
Yeah, do it.
I want to audible because I clearly ranked these movies wrong.
Okay.
I would like to swap my last two. I want to put Rise last, and I want to move Last Jedi to 18.
Let's go.
I don't know why I did that.
I can't believe it. I thought I was going to be the only one putting Rise last, but dude.
So whatever you have to do to change the rankings, I'm officially
Already got it.
audibling Rise of Skywalker to last. Last Jedi comes in at 18 for me.
Those are your bottom two, right? Those are the only ones that need to
Yes.
change? Okay, Taylor.
Yes.
10.
Okay. And
Let's go.
I have it at 18. Is that 3 18s?
3
Three
18s.
18s.
Wow.
3 18s for 8.
Wait, I'm sorry.
my
I have,
God,
I
Maya's
have it at 17.
Slipped in
17.
a
Sorry, I
where it
lied.
belongs.
Um,
Okay.
I would like to speak on this one first because I have always been very vocally a hater of this movie.
Yes.
I'm not alone in that. A lot of people hate this movie. It was a bad
Don't you have a
experience.
tattoo that says I hate 8?
I would have gotten that probably at the time if I thought of that. That's really good. I remember,
Yeah.
when this movie ended, I looked at you sitting in the theater and was like, I'm not alone, right? And you're like that was bad. What the hell just happened? This was the first time I thought anything Star Wars was bad. I still think a lot of it is very bad. I think a lot of it is offensive. I think Rian Johnson took some liberties that he shouldn't have. But like I said before, there's more things in this that I like than Episode 9. I love the throne room scene. I know you love the throne room scene where Kylo and Rey fight together for the first time. That might be close to actually the end of the things that I like about this movie, but I love that part so much. The reasons I dislike this movie: the Holdo maneuver, Holdo herself, Canto Bite, that whole cat and mouse chase of uselessness that doesn't amount to anything. Running out of fuel in space is stupid. A lot of things I dislike, but who wants to go next?
I'll add, no, go ahead, Taylor.
No. Please go.
So I'll start. So I loved how this movie started. I was like, okay, hype, energy, let's go. World War II bombs falling, catching button. I was like, wait, okay, give it time. And then that just made my mind go blank because it's like, what's going on here? But Yeah, why did the whole movie just fell out of my head? I actually had things to say about it.
I think that that's a testament to the movie. Like, it's nonsense and forgettable.
I'll piggyback. So Throne Room, yes. I like Canto Bight as an idea. I like that they tried to give us lots of aliens. The horses were obviously not so great. Not a huge fan of Stable Boy. Like, Force grabbing the broom. It just felt a little like Disney, everybody can be a Jedi. Whereas like Jedis are supposed to be like rare. Oh, this is what I was gonna say. The way the movie, okay, episode 7 ends with such a cool promise. Epic music, Rey is standing there, she's meeting Luke Skywalker, and this movie's just like, ding dong, I don't care, I'm a joke. I'm not even against Luke's characterization. I think it makes sense that he's bitter about what happened, especially like as they've built stuff out and we realize like the Jedi sucked. And that continued on through him. But the delivery was a little too jokey. I would have even been fine if he was like, I'm not about this. But like the Three Stooges slapstick, like I'm gonna throw this and do that. That was too much. I wish they would have pulled back a little bit because I do think they finished this movie with Luke very strong. And I'll be honest, the fight with Kylo like got me. I didn't like the moment where they're like, wait, what? He's like that was a surprise. I actually think they delivered that pretty well. And then him going out, it's like now considered one of like the hardest Force techniques. And that's kind of a cool swan song for Luke.
For sure.
We also got Yoda, burn it all down. Let's move on to something new. Which they then just fumbled in the next movie. All right, that's my take.
Okay. I'm going to say this. I'm going to second everything that Jordan said because the entire time you were talking, I was like, yep. And I don't think it needs to be said again. But I just remember watching this movie in the theater.
Yeah.
And it is one of the most painful movies I think I've ever watched the whole time. Like, I just remember sitting there and being like, what? Like, why does this hurt? And it just did. And I think sitting here and hearing everything, can I change my rankings?
Sure.
I feel like
I also have to change.
Okay.
It's not peer pressure.
Yes, okay.
I went to go review and see if I had anything lower, and I did, and I was like, that shouldn't be that way, and it's an easy swap.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Mine's going to be Solo is 16.
Big jump for Solo. Nice.
Yes. 9 is going to get moved to 17.
Okay.
Hold on, let Jordan capture all of this.
I got it.
8 gets moved to 19.
What about 7?
We haven't done 7 yet.
Okay.
9 is what? 17?
9 is 17.
Okay. All right.
Math.
I loved Ethan's face during that. He's like, what? What's your change?
It just goes like,
I need to make The Last Jedi.
Number 1.
Don't. 14.
Wow.
Andor 15.
Okay. Yep.
And I think that's the only thing affected.
Okay.
I have it as 14.
Oh, God.
You
I'm making mistakes,
confusing.
people.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're good. And we'll do a quality check at the end.
Yes. Last Jedi is what?
14.
14 and Andor is 15?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the only thing affected.
Got it. What were you saying, Ethan?
I just want to say, only the sequel trilogy could cause this many audibles.
100%. Did you say what you think of episode 8?
I didn't because I quickly went to go check my list real quick because I was like, dang, how did I get so off? And then I realized at some point something got forgotten and mixed around, so it needed to move down to just above Andor because I don't really remember anything about it besides the like cringe Kylo Ren shirtless like back and forth visions. Like that is literally I have notes right here to kind of remind me of, you know, in case I need some like, oh, what one was that? And like all I have is Kylo and Rey, weird visions back and forth shirtless, Kylo and Ren kill Snoke, Luke exhaustion projection. That's all I have. Like,
It's interesting because 8 got recontextualized with 9 coming out.
okay.
Because I didn't mention it, but yeah, I remember finishing this movie and sitting there and being like, this is how I described it. It's the biggest fall from hype expectations to finishing that I've ever experienced with anything. And that is what hurts so much, is like how they pitched it and then what it was.
Yeah.
If they had pitched it differently or better or just tweaked a few things, like it was closer as opposed to just the absolute cluster that 9 is.
Yeah. It's funny. I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. I think we talked about this on a podcast recently that like it makes me uncomfortable when I watch things that I love that the person with me has not seen. So like it scares me when I'm watching things with her. I'm like, oh man, like she's gonna notice things that aren't good about it, but then I'm realizing things that aren't good about it. Like I'm hyper aware. I'm like, oh, that's not good. I had a blast watching episode 8 and 9 for her first time. I'm like, dude, I kept noticing more and more bad things. That's why 9 fell so hard for me. Because I was just hating it the whole time, and I loved every moment of it. I'm like, this movie sucks.
Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah. The sequels, man. Well, let's...
Bring it back with 10 plus, Disney. Fix it.
Yeah.
Let's change gears.
I think they will.
I think. Do you think Disney will right the ship?
I think they'll right the ship. This was a we need to recoup our $4 billion investment and rush it out. They pissed all these and hurt all of these actors that they're now having to like mend, and they're gonna have to do it right.
Yeah.
Oh, the Finn and Rose kiss, worst decision I've ever seen.
I heard something recently that like it would have been interesting. It would have been better if the characterization of those two had been switched. Like, she's the one that is trying to fix Finn the whole time when he's already gone through his arc of like bad to understanding what's going on, and then he should have guided her through it instead of the other way around. Even if she was the one who was then going to like kamikaze kill herself, and then he comes in and saves her, and he's like, we're in this together. I would have liked that more. That would have made more sense. But also, isn't he like a general? Like, let the dude blow up the thing. You just ruined our whole plan. Like, people are dying now because of you. I don't know. Not Rose hating, just writing hating. I think it was very badly handled.
That's all who it's on. It's not on the actors. They did their job.
Yeah,
yes.
I agree.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm had great actors.
No, I'm saying even the character. Definitely don't hate the actor, but even the character could have been good, but just mishandled. All right, we're to the top 10, not the top 10, but the final 10. Rogue One, Maya.
Wait, did we do 7?
Rogue One came out after 7.
Oh, Rogue One is 6. I love Rogue One.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Rogue One is 9 for me.
Okay.
Rogue One is 6.
All right. Rogue
What
One
was
is
it, Taylor?
6.
Okay, so we got 2 6s. Jordan?
Anyone know where this one goes for me?
Honestly, my guess would be number 1.
This is my number 1.
Oh,
It still is.
Yeah.
I struggled.
It is
I was like, oh, I do love things more than this, I think. Like, I might want to keep... Nah, it's number 1. If we're going off of, like, just best and love and would I want to keep this over... No arguing for me. This is number 1. I think it was such a new experience for Star Wars. Like, it wasn't the traditional story at all. There's no traditional Jedi. There's some people who are Force sensitive until we get to Vader at the end, which in itself is one of the best moments in Star Wars ever. We have the best droid. We have an amazing villain in Krennic. I thought he was fantastic. We have an epic explanation for why the Death Star has this like crazy loophole weakness. I thought that was genius. We get to see the handling of the plans and all that, and like this epic kind of heist to get in there and extract it. The terrifying Death Star, like showing its power for the first time. Scarif, my favorite planet in all of Star Wars. Love it. It's incredible.
I'll say we mentioned earlier about how like they're trying to fit these shows into like story gaps, and then they're muddying it.
Yeah.
This is like literally that done perfectly and fixing an issue.
Yes.
Like
yes.
it ticks every box.
It's so much fun watching Rogue One and then watching Episode 4 right after each other. Now, like, just to add to what you said, where like it enhances
Yes.
the storyline instead of
Confused.
confused. Yes.
Causing more
the
problems.
storyline.
Yeah.
It was, Rogue One is just good. Well casted, well written, great
Yeah.
storyline. Everything about it. Love it.
I can't think of another movie where when I finish it, I can't, like, I won't watch all of 4, but I have to start it.
Yes.
I can't think of another movie of anything where I'm like, I have to put the next thing on right
Yeah.
now.
Right. I was gonna say something, but I forgot. Taylor, what do you think of it?
I liked it. Yeah. I honestly, I don't always like consider how much it's adding to what's already there, but hearing everyone's opinion, I'm like, yeah, I didn't even consider. I mean, everyone always questions like, why would the Death Star have that feature? What a dumb, But like, yeah, I like getting some explanation. I liked their chemistry, like the dynamic of them alongside, and I don't know, the Darth Vader thing enough was like, whoop, right up there in my top 10. So sick.
Man, I have like multiple favorite moments from this. When they crash the Hammerhead into the
Hammerhead
Star Destroyer,
Corvette.
and then it like crashes into the other Star Destroyer. Like, oh my god, there's just so many epic moments. Oh, the eclipse. I was gonna say Jeddah is one of my favorite planets.
Oh, Jeddah's amazing.
Yeah.
I won't say that, just in case. What? Dang, I keep forgetting what I'm gonna say, and it's making me angry.
Only Star Wars movie where they label the planets.
Yeah, that was cool. I liked that.
Like it gives
Is
this
that
movie
the
a
only one?
unique.
Yeah.
Only one.
Good, because I have no idea where anything is. And then you guys see
Yeah.
like a snowy pine tree, and you're like, no way they're on planet Corazon or something. And I'm like, what the heck? Like,
Planet Corazon, I like that.
I don't know.
One day.
I was just gonna say, I forgot. Like, there is a lot of characters in this movie, but they're all good. I think.
All
Yeah.
Their
all
their
good.
band, their group in the Rogue One ship. There's a lot of people there, but they all serve a purpose that I think is really hard to accomplish.
Chopper has a cameo.
He does, yeah. When they're on Yavin, right?
Yavin, yeah, on Yavin
Yeah.
4. And Captain Syndulla or General Syndulla gets a call out.
That was very cool.
So many cool touches in this
Yeah.
from Rebels.
Yeah, that just what a bad
I low-key want
1,
to
2,
watch this movie right now.
3 punch, because like 7 was great. It was everything we wanted, I think. And not that it was perfect, but it lived up to the expectations. This then just soared those into the atmosphere and then tanked for episode 8. And I'm like, oh, you guys don't have this all worked out in your minds. All right. Next one,
Yes.
Let's go.
episode 7.
Maya, where do you have 7?
Controversial.
Yep.
18.
I don't like you.
Oh my god.
I know, she's a hater. I have it 13.
Oh, yeah, 13. Yep.
I have it 8.
And I have it at 7.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't think I've called
Kick us
on you
off.
first many times. Ethan, you go first.
I'll go first. This whole list, even going through this, it's so tricky. I'm like, why did I have Rogue One so low? But like, that's why we'll re-rank this,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of good stuff here, and it's hard to put everything. And I'm curious to see where this shakes out. So episode 7, this was our first like adult new Star Wars movie, hype building, waiting in line, let's go see it. I think, considering the expectations, considering how poor they finished the sequel trilogy, like, I love this movie. I also like the first of trilogies. I'm pretty sure I cried like slightly when the Millennium Falcon showed back up. And that alone is like all time moment. Still upset about killing Han. Still upset about that.
Yeah. But I think justified.
Yes.
Maya?
He wanted to die, though. I heard, like, he really pushed
Harrison Ford?
Harrison Ford for his character to be killed.
Yeah, he'd been trying for 30 years.
Yeah, he'd been
One-
trying for 30 years.
One of the things that
think they
upsets my
should've
dad
even
the
done
most in all of movie history is how Harrison Ford does not want to be Han Solo anymore. He's like, he almost feels like these people are obligated to like keep being these roles because everyone loves them. And I'm like, I get it, but also like, he just doesn't like it. You know, he likes Indiana Jones more, or any of these other roles that he takes.
He came back in 9
Yeah,
and did more.
and it was great. Made me cry.
That was a great scene.
It makes me cry
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah.
Sorry,
You know
Maya, cut
that?
you off.
That might be the best
You're
part of
fine.
9. What else did you want to say?
I don't like. It's so I know it's ranked 18th. It's not that I didn't like this movie. It's just kind of meh for me. Like, I think there were just some like obvious scenes that they put in there, and it was so much like 4. I think I would have preferred something like creative and more unique. And I think they had great actors too, and they just. I don't know, with 7, 8, 9, I just think they just could have done something better, and I don't know.
You're just not here for it.
Yeah, I'm not here for
I-
it. I don't like how they made Kylo Ren either. I think he would have been a cool character, and I didn't like how he was in 7.
You just offended Jordan.
Oh,
You did. That's okay though. That's
I think my
okay.
list is offensive. So maybe that's what
No.
it is.
That's okay. I understand my
I mean-
takes are a little wild on some of these, but
I'll add, this movie has fallen a little bit for me over time, especially with how now that it's all played out, I'm still kind of irritated at how strong Rey is. Like, that she knew how to do a Jedi mind trick without being taught that. Like,
yeah.
I can't justify that at all. But sure.
I like her showing strength without knowing how she did it. Like, if she were to
Yeah.
like accidentally push something really hard, like that's cool. But yeah, to trick somebody like that takes skill, I would think.
How do
Or
you even know
training.
you can do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, right,
Like, how do you even try that?
right. Taylor,
What was the question?
what do you think of episode 7?
Oh, I thought it was something specific. I was like, I was in my head trying to think. I knew I was gonna have to talk soon. Honestly, I was trying to think of why I don't really like Rey. I know I've said that before. There's kind of no reason for it necessarily. Like, I was trying right now. I was going back in my brain, like, yeah, I don't know why. I've never really liked her, and this movie's like a lot of her, but considering it sets up the other two that come after it in the trilogy, and I really hate those, then I'm just kind of like, I guess this is the best we get of her, and I respect it.
Yeah.
I mean, you needed something new to kind of, oh, that's what I was gonna say. I kept holding out for her, like, I know she's someone. She's probably gonna be someone really effing cool. She's somebody. And then it comes out, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I felt like I had held out all that time for something way more rewarding than what I got. And when I found out, I was like, yeah, now I've got nothing to write home about for her.
Sure. Yeah.
And her
Yeah.
being the main character, like, I don't know. I know they give us BB-8. We get. I think this is one of the movies where I actually like fully like Poe. I think he kind of annoys me in the later
Yes.
ones when he starts to be all like mutiny and
Yes.
kind of arrogant. Like, I don't know where that came from.
Yeah.
He was so like
Yeah.
not that in this movie. So I think it's the best of the trilogy, like that third set characters. But I don't necessarily love it. It just only got worse from there for them.
I completely agree. Yeah. I remember I really liked Rey after this movie. I kept getting a bunch of, like, every Rey pop that I could get because I think I liked the Rey and Kylo duo. Kylo is my favorite character in Star Wars. I don't know if I can give you off the top of my head too many justifications for that. I just really like him. I think he's a complicated villain / good guy. Towards the end, he's whatever. Don't need to go into that. This movie is only brought down for me because of 8 and 9. I think standalone, I think this is a very fun, like, good point A to point B movie.
Did Kylo become your favorite during this movie?
Pretty soon after, yeah. I think I realized, like, oh, I really like Kylo Ren. Like, his lightsaber is amazing. I think he's got a lot of cool traits about him.
I think he's the best character of the sequel trilogy.
Do you? Okay, good.
Yeah, hands down.
Yeah, because a lot of characters change, you know? Like Rey, like she said, Poe changes. He becomes more annoying, more arrogant.
Yeah.
I think Rey is kind of annoying now from the beginning, and she gets a little way more arrogant and rebellious. But Kylo is pretty much the same character through and through, including his turn to the good side, which I'm totally fine with. I think that was justified. Yeah, that's all I got. Oh, just since this is the last chance I get to talk about her, Captain Phasma, get out of here. She sucks. She's the worst.
I forgot she existed.
I was so excited for her, but she was absolutely terrible. Okay.
Not even cool like Boba Fett.
Oh my god, I can't believe it. We're out of this era. We're on to Rebels.
Yeah, it's painful.
Maya, what'd you think of Rebels?
5.
Nice.
I have Rebels 4.
Nice.
Abstain.
She has not seen. And I have Rebels at 4
Let's go.
as well. I'll go first. It's been a while since I've seen this. I don't remember a lot of it obviously, but I remember loving it through and through the entire way through. I remember being kind of hesitant to start it. I didn't think I was gonna like it. I remember I won a DVD of it, and like, I don't need to watch that. And I think you told me it was good. And
You won a DVD?
or did I? No. Oh no, I got it at
We went to
Sports Nation.
Sports Nation. The recording of Sports Nation, old ESPN show, and they did a Star Wars episode like for Halloween or something.
Yes.
And they were they gave away like a whole Star Wars Rebels like bag and disc, and I was like, what is this stupid kids show?
Right.
Oh, can't they make something better? That was my opinion before
Yeah.
I even watched the show. And now I
Yeah.
have it number 4 out of all Star Wars content ever.
But it has a lot of cameos. It has a lot of, ties to themes and characters that we know from the, prequels and the original trilogy. It's in my favorite era of Star Wars that I realized by watching this show, which is between 3 and 4, that like rise of the Empire and kind of the forming of the rebellion. I think all that is really fun. And it has a really, really good arc and like a growth of this character Ezra becoming a Jedi. Like, he was such a street rat who became a really good Jedi, and his master, who is arguably one of the best Jedi that there's ever been. Ahsoka's in it. Darth Maul is in it. Like, there's great stuff in this show, and I need to watch it again because it may even land higher upon a second viewing.
This show picks up steam over time, much like Clone Wars.
Yeah. What'd you think?
One of the reasons I have so much faith in the Ahsoka show is because of Rebels, and just that whole scene with like Ahsoka, Darth Vader, and Ezra. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Oh, that's one of the most, yes.
I just wanted to name those 3 without like ruining it.
I don't know how much spoilers there is to talk about Rebels.
Do you think you'll watch it?
Oh, no. If she hasn't seen it, I'm not spoiling anything.
I haven't seen
But
it.
it was,
Yeah.
but that's
She abstained, that's right.
one of my favorite parts of Rebels.
Yes.
Is that
Yeah.
I would watch it, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
I need
okay?
time because I'm a binger. It's one of those shows, especially because I have to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's much
I do
shorter
wanna
than
watch
like Clone
these.
Wars.
Especially because I've been waiting for you guys to dip into those like top 5, and then you guys finally do, and I'm like, dang, I haven't seen these things. And you guys are saying like, yeah, just as good as Clone Wars, so I know probably the next one's gonna be pretty similar, which is telling me I'm working with limited knowledge here.
Yeah.
So,
It's shorter too. It's shorter than Clone Wars, so
It's shorter, yeah.
It's a little
Yeah,
easier
only
to get
4
through.
seasons, I think.
yeah.
You have to watch Clone Wars to get to Rebels, though. No.
I don't think so.
No.
No,
Okay.
Mm-mm.
I
So
wouldn't
is that-
say that.
There's
Is
some
Ezra
stuff-
in both?
No.
no.
He's just Rebels, but
Ezra's
Ahsoka's in both.
Rebels. Mm-hmm.
It's its own
Ahsoka's in
thing.
both. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maya, did you say what you thought? Yeah, you did. Did everyone say?
Yeah, I did. Did you say?
I said briefly, I love Rebels. Like,
Yeah.
this has like one of my favorite Jedis, some of my favorite moments. It adds a lot of Star Wars lore, like maybe some of the most out of anything that like connects everything, and that I think Maya said it. I love the time period. The, what it's building to and everything is it's one of my favorite things. So yes,
Yeah.
I love this show.
Yeah.
You'll laugh, you'll cry, everything.
It's
Lots
a
of
good
laughs.
show.
It's a funny show, but like not
Also,
in a corny
Thrawn.
way. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, one of the best ones,
Like-
Thrawn,
Thrawn?
the blue guy from Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Oh, I do like.
He's
Thrawn.
very much a
Yeah,
participant in the
Thrawn's
show. So
A good villain.
Also, Chopper.
will motivate me.
Yeah.
Yes, Chopper. Shout out
do you remember
Chopper.
Chopper?
I only a little bit, but I don't think I understood.
He's
the
that quirky, like
reference.
kind of square robot with like things sticking out of his head. He's such a
the,
dick.
the sassiest robot.
yeah.
Voiced by Dave Filoni.
Yes. Oh. Yeah, I don't know if I have like full faith in him
Yeah.
after some of these things, but we'll see.
I feel like
Clone
Rebels
Wars. Should we
top
move to Clone Wars? I think his like first baby, right?
Clone Wars. Am I going first again?
Yeah.
Always.
4.
I have it 5.
And okay, I'll talk later.
Yeah.
But 4.
And then I have it at 9.
Hey.
Uh,
And Taylor
Mike,
has
kick
it
it
at
off.
1.
Kick it off. Okay. I love Clone Wars. I can't believe it's 4. Honestly, the top 5 shows are just all shows I would watch like in movies I would watch over and over and over again. I've been begging him to watch Clone Wars again
Yeah.
since we finished it. We finished that animated show and I wanted to watch it again.
Immediately,
And there's
yeah.
a lot of episodes in Clone Wars. But I love it. I love Anakin. I love getting his like full story. He's one of my favorite Jedis. So
And Crushes.
in Crushes.
As she reminds me the
Oh, yeah.
entire time we're watching.
Oh,
it.
yeah.
He's so hot. Especially in Clone Wars. He's so hot. Never Yeah. I'm gonna leave it at Anakin's hot.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
Clone
he
Wars
is.
say.
And
Ethan.
And period.
This shows the introduction of Ahsoka. I think it's funny because so many people are like, "Oh, she's so annoying," and like Dave Filoni literally introduced her by design to be annoying, and then have her grow over time.
Yeah.
And it also this whole series. I mean, obviously, it makes that slightly awkward jump from 2 to 3, like, makes so much sense. If you watch episode 2, and then you watch 19 seasons and 400 episodes of the Clone Wars, and then watch episode 3. It makes a lot more
Makes
sense.
a lot more sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Small task.
Of all of Star Wars, I think I've seen everything more recently than this, except for the last season. Like,
Yeah.
I watched this show a long time ago, so like that might have something to do with why it's so low for me. Maybe we'll rewatch it, and I have to watch it again someday. But yeah, I think this is the best the best version of Anakin, I think.
100%.
And nothing against Hayden Christensen, but he is such a good character in this show. He makes more sense. He's not just whiny. He's confident. He's strong. He's troubled at times. Like it just makes more sense without having to rush it in a 2-hour movie. Again, nothing against Hayden Christensen. He did the job, I think. But
Also,
more-
return of one of the best characters,
who? Darth Maul.
Darth Maul.
Darth Maul,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Also
The Darth Maul stuff in the show is so good.
Incredible. Because he was a fan favorite that just got cut in half and left.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh
I
man,
know.
his story is crazy, and you see most of it,
Yeah.
if not all of it, in this show. Like he had a wild life.
We might have to start this again.
I know.
I need some Clone Wars. He gave
so
the
good.
clones
I ain't gonna be
a face.
Yes.
They were
Yes.
just these these soldiers, and like they are some of the best characters, voiced by one guy.
Yeah,
Incredible.
They're so cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
There's so much depth to them now. They're not just.
Shout out Clone Wars.
Okay. The Big Six.
The Big Six. The
Episode
Big Hero
3.
Six.
Maya.
3.
Perfect.
6 for me.
1.
Oh! And I have it at
Hey!
I have it at 5. Taylor.
There we go.
Why is it
that's
your number
quite a
1?
mix.
I know.
I struggled with this for a while. As you know, we get to the top, it's probably going to be my reasoning for a lot of things. It was one of those ones where, like, very nostalgic. I could put it on anytime. I'm finally not having to listen, well, I guess partially, but it's not totally focused on Anakin being so whiny and whatever. There's some darkness. There's the growth of Darth Vader. Like, we get to see that happening. The high ground. You know, there's just this iconic stuff there. And I don't know. It's just one of those things. It gave me a lot of answers. I was confused every movie, pretty much, like, resetting, like, the fact that they came out with the numbers in a weird thing, different order. That was my first. I was really young. My dad was obsessed with the first ones that he saw. He was trying to show me these ones, and I'm like, I'm so confused. Like, how can that happen? This is later. And so I think this is the first one where by the end of it, I was like, oh, so the other ones that you love start after this because Darth Vader's bad now. Like, I don't know. I think to me, if out of all of the movies that we're going to get to in my top ranks, it's going to be, I could put that one on Desert Island anytime. I know exactly what's going on. I like it. It's building a lot of greatness for me. I like Darth Vader a lot. I know he's got a couple of cheesy moments and things, you know what we're talking about. No, but other than that, like, yeah. And like we said, Hayden, he did the job, and he
hot.
looked good doing it.
He's hot.
Especially when he's all troubled and, you know.
Angsty, yeah.
Yeah.
And shirtless in this movie. Put your shirt on. What's with these Sith guys taking
When
their
was he
shirts
shirtless?
off? When he gets out of bed all sweaty? Or was that
Oh,
two?
yeah.
Was that two?
Terrors.
That was
Hey
two.
man, he had to work. No, that was in this one too. I'm pretty sure.
It was, right?
Yikes.
It's in both.
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah, because he's worried about Padme dying. That's
Yeah.
mom. Yeah.
In the temple, yeah. Or not
Um,
the temple, in their apartment.
Maya, you have it the next highest.
Number 3.
Number 3. I just love this movie. Like, yeah, just, I mean, the fight scene with Obi-Wan alone at the end.
Oh.
Iconic.
The choreography.
Yeah, the choreography, the athleticism, too, of the fight, and
And the implications.
the implications, and just the dark somberness of the, like, you can feel him turning to the dark side, and it makes sense, and just, it's one of my favorite movies. It
Also
was
sad.
Yeah, between 1, 2, and 3, I don't even know how I ranked those. I think it was just a gut call, and I could easily see 3 being number 1 also. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, sad.
It's
Him,
just-
you know,
it was so
Obi-Wan, who we have come to learn, you know, strayed away from the rules of the Jedi, but they're not supposed to have emotion, and for him to say, like, you were my brother, I loved you, like, that's heart-wrenching, you know?
The line. Mhm.
It's so sad.
And he was.
I know.
I mean, this,
He went to bat for him every time.
numerous times, yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
this is literally the fall of the Jedi. And it's something like where, like, for so long in Star Wars before, we were like, the Jedis are the good guys and the Sith are the bad guys. And how did they do this and all of this? And then you realize by this point, like, the Jedi are flawed. Like, they made mistakes. Like, how did we not see this? Well, you were too arrogant and you were too cocky. And, like, you got yours.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I mean,
Order 66.
I love this movie, obviously. I saw it in theaters when I was in 5th grade. Took my friend Ian to see it for the first time, and I remember being so excited for it, and it was just epic. The fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin is one of the all-time great moments. General Grievous was very, very cool. Like this
Oh,
guy
yeah.
who collects lightsabers, who's not a Jedi or like Force sensitive, but like he can wield them and he's terrifying. Like he's killed all of these Jedi. And yeah, it was a good conclusion, I feel like, to the whole Star Wars story at the time, and we've now grown it past that. But yeah, I loved it. Maya, Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
Not number 2.
8.
Kobe.
8.
I have episode 2 at 12.
Okay.
10.
There's a lot of good stuff.
I'm trying to find it. This is really weird. I feel like Ethan and I are lining up a lot. I also have it at 12.
Let's go.
Does anyone want to start?
Me.
Go.
I'll start. Oh, no, Taylor, go.
I'm only gonna start because I feel like I might not be so critical. I mean, it looks like we're right on par, but I might have a different opinion of it had I seen the Clone Wars. All I get of Anakin is him being a kid, him being a whiny little bizmatch, which seemed to happen over nowhere out of nothing.
Yeah.
If I had Obi-Wan as my mentor, I don't see how that happens. Like, I mean, we get the backstory of Luke's struggle because Anakin's his dad, right? That just begs the question, like, what are your issues? Were you so quickly, like, were just troubled? And he's so whiny. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's like, I'm sorry, every other Jedi has had this set of rules, and I'm sure there are times when we don't think it's fair, but I feel like considering all I have of Anakin is kid, whiny biznatch teenage stage, and then turning dark, it goes down real low for me because I'm like, dang, he really couldn't hack it. Like, he has all this power, but I mean, as terms of Jedi, he barely made it. Like, I don't see him going on these missions and mentoring Ahsoka and being someone who could even mentor someone. I can't imagine him mentoring anyone. That's insane to me, hearing that, you know? So it is where it is, and I'm confident with where it is. It's too many Senate scenes, too much just like backstory, and the scenes of him and Padme are beautiful. I love that planet or wherever they are when they're in the field.
Naboo.
You know, the meme.
Italy.
But other than that, yeah, I think if I had maybe seen the Clone Wars, I would see that this is his teenage Ahsoka stage where it starts when she's at the Clone Wars.
Right.
But yeah.
You mentioned, like, what does he have to complain about? Like, he was a slave, but also he was a pretty positive kid when he was a slave. So, like,
pod racing and
that's a weird jump. Like, he was a pretty cool kid and, like, understanding and, like, made the most of things, and then he's just kind of obnoxious,
Mommy issues.
right?
He left his mom.
As soon as he falls
At a very
in love,
young
he's
age.
got issues. Yeah. I mean, isn't Padme who like helped take him from his home?
She was there, yeah.
So like,
I think Qui-Gon's the one
just
that
kinda
kind of
jumped on.
abducted him, but yeah.
That, which is a very Jedi thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you got powers? You're with us now.
No more family for you.
Yeah.
I'll say, like, I think, like, the core of his character is, like, he has all this power and can't use it. And when he was a kid, they were like, yes, little 8-year-old, you can get in the giant fast machine and risk your life. And now they're all like, no, you can't do that. So, I don't know, maybe there's, like, a little bit something there. He almost has, like, less freedom than when he was a slave.
Sure.
He's not allowed to love. Like, they keep telling him that, and he is in love.
Exactly,
so that,
right?
Yeah.
One of the mistakes of the Jedi. When I was younger, this movie was much lower for me. I loved the cool action scenes, but now, being older, being in a relationship, etc., this movie hits in a different way. And a lot. This was the movie with a lot of talking, and I dislike that less now being older. Also, a lot of cool lightsaber action. Like, kind of throughout. Jango Fett fight. The whole Camino stuff with the clones.
Yeah.
The Geonosis battle. And then the epic ending of this movie with Dooku.
Yeah. And Yoda.
And Yoda.
I still remember seeing that in theaters and people laughing. Because it was just
Really?
like, what is happening? We have never seen this before.
That's so weird.
Yoda had been a character for 30 years almost. Nobody knew he could move like that.
Maya?
When I think of this movie, I think less of Anakin in this movie and more of like that stuff, like the fight with Count Dooku and Yoda, and then the Clone Wars and
The Geonosis battle with all the sand and the lasers going back and forth.
Yes. I think more of that stuff, and I think that's what I like about this movie. But yeah, he is whiny a little bit in this movie.
Is he hot in this movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say it.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
All right.
We all have bad days.
Exactly, right?
Let a man show his emotions.
Yo, he's in love. He's in love and he can't have her.
He was showing his emotions before it was like cool.
Oh, for sure. I was just curious if you guys like the short hair and the rat tail more, or like the long wavy locks better.
He pulls off both.
Okay, good.
He pulls off both. Thank you. Yeah. I was gonna say something I forgot. It's fine.
Think about it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Threw you off with the hotness.
Distracted.
I don't know why I want to
No,
say
think
this,
about
but
that.
it's in my mind and I just want to put it on tape or whatever. This is the first movie I ever remember going and peeing during for some reason. I definitively remember missing part of like the Camino scene. But all of the prequels I saw in theaters, like when they were initially released, that's the only thing I remember about seeing this movie for the first time. I've seen it many more times since. I would say of all the prequels, for some reason, this one feels the most dated, even though it's a few years after episode 1. I feel like the CGI, like green screen in this movie just looks worse.
There's way more green screen and CGI in this than in 1.
Okay. That makes sense then.
They went more practical with that. And then the CG got better in 3. So this is in that like awkward space.
Yeah. I like this movie. I think it's boring of all of the like main core 6 movies compared to those, but yeah, I enjoy it. There's a lot of parts I like. The whole, not even the lightsabers, but the fight scene on Geonosis with like the animals I thought was kind of cool. That weird kind of like cat thing and the big dragonfly or whatever thing, that stuff was fun.
I have that toy. That's the thing we found. I literally have the arena.
My dad bought me, he used to get me all of the action figures and all of these little, I don't know what the line was, but at Toys R Us, when they drop new stuff, he'd be there getting them. And the only thing I remember is I had the poles that you'd stick them together and then you could hook the hands up, and they had the little animals, like action figures in that set. And like, I remember that's just the only thing where I was like, this is kind of cool, like animals.
Yeah. An origin story for Boba Fett that I think fits and works.
Yes.
I think that's very cool.
I agree.
Yeah.
Why is everything connected? Because it is. Get over it.
This is where it came from. Yeah, I hate that argument.
My one shout out to the haters.
Yeah. Maya, did you remember what you were going to say?
I was just gonna say about Anakin, like part of the reason maybe he was so whiny too is like he now got like, when he was a slave, he was like a nobody. He thought he was just, that was his life. And then now all of a sudden you're being told you're the chosen one. You're supposed to be the best of all of us, but like here are all these things you can't do.
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like maybe that'll get to someone's head. That was the only thing I was going to add about why it does make sense that he might be a little whiny, but I agree it's too much. And I like him more in Clone Wars than I think in 2.
I'll say like, he can clearly see his abilities. It's kind of like an athlete who's like, you're the next coming. And then you get put on a team and you're like, but you have to wait your turn. And it's just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And the whole wrinkle of how, if he had been trained by Qui-Gon, everything would have gone differently. Right? Obi-Wan was a brother, but not the father that he needed. And that can play a role.
Interesting. Wow.
I'll say episode 2, I like it as the middle movie. Great middle movie. Didn't ruffle any feathers.
It wasn't 8.
No, exactly.
I always say, I know not everyone agrees with this. I personally do understand why people dislike the prequels, especially like the older generations, but it does make me very sad because I I find them
Yeah.
fun, and they were perfect for me as a kid. So like, it just makes me sad that not everyone can enjoy them the same way. But I do get it a little
And they're
bit.
straight from
but-
George. Like this
Yes.
is
Yeah.
him.
Not even
the
the whole
creator.
OT was all George, like, or well, written but
Yeah.
not directed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's probably has a lot to do with why people don't like these movies.
Yeah. So be it.
Shall we move on to episode 1?
We shall.
Maya?
2. I love episode 1.
It's happened. I have this movie number 1.
Let's go. Taylor?
3.
Oh my god, I have it at 2.
Oh, so this is a great
Yes.
day for me.
Ethan,
on the
go
eve
ahead.
of the 25th on the eve of the 25th anniversary,
Is it?
it just happened. Literally just happened.
That's amazing.
I'm shocked, and I know people are offended, and I don't care. Like, this movie is getting better with time. I
Yeah.
don't know if I ever expected that to happen. There are plenty of things to criticize about this movie, but if I want to sit down and have a good time, this thing delivers every single time. There's like stakes, but they're not too high. It's currently, till Acolyte comes out, the farthest back in the Star Wars universe that we've ever gotten. I think it sets the table for everything to come really, really well. And at the end of the day, it's just a super fun adventure.
Yeah.
And also my favorite Jedi, Qui-Gon. Shout out, Liam Neeson, the GOAT.
Yeah. Taylor?
Now, it's important to know, I know I said this. This was my other one for number 1, where I was like, it's really hard for me because with Mandalorian being number 2, I know whatever I don't choose automatically goes down to number 3, and that is just too low for me. Looking at it next to all your 1s and 2s, I'm like, man, that doesn't feel right. But I stand by it. I just,
3 is high praise.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, the poster goes hard.
Yeah.
I love
Yes.
Darth Maul, and I'm going to be watching these animated shows because apparently I'm missing all of the context. Like, this is someone who hasn't seen the animated shows, and I'm obsessed with him. My dad, I remember telling him he was my first crush, and my dad was like, "What is wrong with you?" Like, my dad literally, no, my dad was like, "That's your first crush?" Like, and he showed me the actor. I'm like, "No, not that. That
Darth
one."
Maul.
Yeah, like. So I don't know. I really liked him. I
He's
like.
badass.
Yeah, I like the introduction. Everyone's meeting. It's. I mean, as you guys have said, it's a New Hope, but for the other group, and I like it. Yeah.
Well, I'll
yeah.
say this movie isn't exactly like A New Hope, right?
Not entirely. I just mean we get all of the. We're all meeting. We're all seeing where it's setting up.
Yeah.
It's the entry point for like, you know, the next group and or like
Yeah.
our generation, you know, like it's our first movie.
Coming together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess just to give it another pro, like they didn't do what they did with 7 with this.
Right.
Right.
In terms of mirroring it, and like, yeah, props for like this movie is very unique amongst all of them, which makes me love it even more.
Maya?
One of my favorite characters, next to Anakin, is Darth Maul. I was gonna start off by saying that I also think he's hot.
Yes.
Thank you. He's one of my favorite characters. I love everything about Darth Maul. And he was just introduced in this movie. He's one of the coolest characters ever. And Qui-Gon was in it. I mean, it just has some of the best characters were introduced in this movie, and it's fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a kid again watching this. Like, it's
Yeah.
just fun, and it has depth. You know, Qui-Gon brings so much depth to the movie that, you know, and sophistication too. So it's like, it's fun to watch, I feel like, as a kid and as an adult. Like, and maybe that's why I don't know, I just love watching this movie. It was hard. It's hard to see it as number 2 because it could have easily been my number 1. I kept going back and forth between my number 1, my number 2, and my number 3. And
Watching
it's great.
watching
Greatness.
Qui-Gon like clap back at the Jedi is so sick.
Yeah.
And it's so ominous for what leads in the next 2 movies as well. I'll say I remember not realizing who Palpatine was when I was a kid.
Me
and,
too.
Like, realizing then how like my mom knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah.
I'm all just like, oh, what's that? And like, what's going on? And what's
I-
gonna happen? next?
We had
Like,
it at the perfect time. We were
Yeah,
the
oh, yeah,
perfect
it was
age
amazing.
for these
Yeah.
movies. First and foremost, I love racing. This movie has racing in it. Are you kidding me? And also such a unique, inventive, and creative way to introduce racing into Star Wars. Besides the video games, maybe we don't need more of it. But no, I thought it was fantastic. Epic fight scene at the end with Darth Maul, Qui-Gon, and Obi-Wan. There's not many like try lightsaber battles, if any others. I can't think of any at the moment.
Dooku.
You're right. Yeah.
Both Dooku fights. But
And
this is the best
he makes
one, 'cause
quick work of
both
them, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Best song, Duel of the Fates. Absolutely banger of a song.
The choreography. This was the first time we saw athletic lightsaber fighting with
Yeah.
jumps and flips and all of that. All the old movies was just boom, 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 boom. Like, they changed everything.
And honestly, even though it sucks that Qui-Gon dies and we don't get more of him, like, it gives the movie stakes, Like,
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
it
And it-
has a lot of weight to it that Darth Maul killed, like, our favorite guy, and we had no idea. And then...
Yeah.
It
And then it
elevates
gives
his
value
character.
to Obi-Wan and
Yep.
and power to him that he then killed Darth Maul. And
Yes.
then I think they retconned that in a decent way of keeping Darth Maul alive to give us more of him because he's probably one of the coolest characters they've ever created. So
Ever.
Hands down.
just fantastic.
It's crazy how, like, by killing Obi-Wan, you level up or by killing Qui-Gon, you level up Qui-Gon. Because he's older and, like, it makes Darth Maul look good, but then also Obi-Wan look good. Like, it just makes everybody better by
Yeah.
him actually, like, dying and getting those stakes.
Yeah.
And also some, like, really funny quotes from this movie. Such as, like, that's Wizard, I think it comes out
Now
of
this is pod racing.
and that one, I know people want to hate on Jar Jar. Like,
No.
first fully CG character ever.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
And
that's a fact.
I don't think he looks
Which is
dated.
fine.
I think he looks good.
No. He holds up Introduction to the Battle Droids, who still
Oh,
the designs.
yes.
This movie is iconic, in terms of its design. Like,
Yes.
hands down. It helped Star Wars go sideways. I feel like, and like Coruscant, we get to see Coruscant for the first time.
Yes.
A planet that's a city. Like, get out of here.
Incredible. Are
Watto,
we ready for the last three? Oh yeah, what?
Jabba,
Yeah.
I could keep going. I could talk for hours about this movie.
Sebulba.
Sebulba.
So good. Maya, where
I'm
would
ready.
you put episode 6?
Okay,
Return of the
might be a
Jedi.
controversial ranking. I would put it at 9.
Okay.
I have 6 at 8. Kobe.
Give me a second, please.
Yeah.
Come back to me.
Okay. I have it at 8 as well.
Toby.
And dude, why do we line up on so many of these?
I know.
I'm actually curious, like, where we strongly
We've been
differ.
evolving. We've been evolving together.
I didn't rank it.
Oh no, well, on the
I
fly.
literally watched it today.
No, you go first and
Okay.
tell me, what are you feeling? Where would you slide this in amongst all the other movies? Oh, is this gonna affect your list?
Yes.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. I can do that easily. Well, here, do you want us to talk about what you think about it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just go first real quick. I like
This
a
movie's
lot of this
very
movie.
fun.
Yeah, I like a lot of this movie. I don't care for some of this movie. I do like the Ewoks. I like the 3 planes of action at the end with Andor and the space battle and the throne room scene. I like the redemption of Vader. I think that's earned.
Totally agree.
Yoda dying is very sad and impactful, and I think that was
Every time.
huh?
Every time.
Yeah. But it's just kind of in the middle for me. It's a little higher than the middle, but I don't have anything like super special with this movie. What do you guys think?
I love Endor. I love the speeder bikes. The throne room scene is always what goes back and like hits me of like iconic of this movie. The green, like Luke's green lightsaber, and against Vader, like father against son. Like that fight is very intense. It's very heavy. Like the atmosphere that they create with that. And I always think about the end of this movie first, and then I'm like, and it starts with the Jabba's palace sequence. Like they set this movie up very well. Like I'm always shocked how much is in it.
Yeah. I think it's a good movie. I think there just might be some other stuff that I like more. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite part of this movie?
Probably the scene where it's Luke and Darth Vader, like just that first
Yeah.
of the lightsabers like coming out and like
He strikes Palpatine and
Yeah.
Vader stops him.
Yeah.
that part was fun.
I mean, it's Luke
That's what I remember.
overcoming what his father couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not giving into the dark side.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never join you. Yeah. No, it's another conclusion. We've had a few of those, and it's probably... Is it the best conclusion? Do you think do we have it higher than 3? No, we don't. Okay. I think it wraps up nicely.
Three's implications for the greater.
Yeah.
It sets so much up. I
Yes.
remember when I saw 3, my mom was like the one that was like picking out like, oh, he picked up his lightsaber and stuff. Like 3 is like that setup or what Star Wars was.
Right.
6 was for so long the end.
Right.
Like the finale. I mean, the end of the Empire, which I think maybe didn't quite have the stakes that it has now when we think about it.
Right. Taylor, where'd you put it?
I'd put it 7 above. That would slide the Book of Boba Fett down.
You put Return of the Jedi. What number is it?
7.
7. Okay, cool. And did you liked it?
It wasn't my favorite, but considering all of the new stuff and everything we've already talked about, like it's still higher than most of the other stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, the iconic like dancing scene and in Jabba's place.
That
like,
CG weird.
yeah,
long
like all of
nose.
the things like they're just singing and they're all dancing and
Well, what's weird is like the version I grew up with doesn't have that. That was added in
Really?
the special edition later. Yeah.
wow.
Which is now
it
what's
has
on
a
Disney
name
Plus.
for
And
it.
like,
Jedi Rock. Jedi Rock. It's like,
That's
what
so
are you
funny.
doing? This doesn't need to be in here.
It's funny. I think I probably would have ranked Mandalorian above 6 next time we do the ranking. I just feel like
Which is what I did. I was like, it just barely edged it out for me.
because I
Interesting.
was going back and forth between like, is 6 better than the Mandalorian?
She put a heart by the Mandalorian.
Because I do know when we were talking about it, I was like, man, I really do love that show. Like,
Yeah.
they
It's
should have ranked it higher. Okay,
Never
Maya.
move up.
that's the only thing I'll add. Yeah,
Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back.
number 1.
Holy
Number
crap!
2.
I did not. Whoa! I did not realize you hadn't given me number 1 yet, Taylor.
Number 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have it at 10.
Whoa. Jordan, you start. Explain
No,
yourself.
no.
Yeah.
Everyone who gives it number 1 gets start. Maya, go.
Okay, Maya, start us off.
Okay.
We won't listen to Jordan on this one. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you shouldn't.
I think 5 is the movie that made me fall in love with Star Wars. I don't know if I would say 4 did that for me when we watched it the first time. And 5 is when that just became solid. And it was so tough choosing between episode 5 or episode 1 to be number 1, but I went with the classic. It's just, I don't know, I love it start to finish.
For a long time, I've had 5 number 1.
Yeah.
I would argue 5 is the best Star Wars movie.
Mhm.
That is usually what it's harder in the context, but definitely like it. Okay, Empire Strikes Back is what defined Star Wars. I think that's what I hear a lot of people say. It created a lot of concepts and identity for what Star Wars is today.
It dunked the ball after Episode 4 kind of lobbed it up.
Yeah, I mean, Episode 4 is like a low budget, crazy, long shot. What is this? 5 is like, now we got budget, now we got a director. Let's do Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's got the first legit lightsaber battle. It's got, I mean, Hoth, one of the most iconic sequences of all time. It's the Force, like Luke pulling the lightsaber out of the snow. More Millennium Falcon, more Vader, no Death Star.
True.
The only original movie without a Death Star.
It's actually blown up in this one.
Yeah, exactly. And they are not happy.
No. Whose turn is it? Is it Taylor? You go.
Yeah, I think you guys have already said it. It's iconic. I mean, if you need any questions, kind of like, what's this stuff everyone's talking about? I mean, I think of that 70s show, and when Eric Foreman comes back from seeing it for the first time or whatever, and I mean, is it? Or is he talking about the first one?
He probably saw the first one when he was
Okay.
like losing his mind.
Yeah, but he's talking about how they're like turning it into like laser shows and all this, and like that. I think by the end of it, I actually don't know if I remember that, but that's what I think of. Like, you get an explanation. I mean, it answers questions and then it kind of makes you ask
Gives you
questions. Like, it's perfectly building the bridge for like, all right, get your questions rolling. We got stuff to answer. But
I think that's probably why it's a little bit lower for me. I don't know if I like bridge movies so much. It's great. Everything about this movie is great. I have nothing bad to say about this movie. It just feels a little bit open-ended on both sides, and I think for me that is why it's a little bit lower. But yeah, Hoth is great. Cloud City is awesome. Lando is an awesome character.
One of the biggest movie quotes ever.
Oh, biggest reveals. Yeah, for sure.
Like, Luke didn't know until seconds before filming that. Mark Hamill.
That's amazing. And no one else
That's
knew.
wild.
Right?
Yeah, because they dubbed it over, nobody knew what he was reacting to, only him.
Right.
wow.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, they kept that
That's
a hardcore
cool.
secret. So, it just is a little bit in that kind of like awkward middle ground, but I love that, Maya, you love it because it is like the reason that you grew to love Star Wars. Like it being your like kind of introduction point. Like that's awesome.
I'll add real quick because I get how you could have this lower.
Yeah, I do get that.
I weirdly get anxious to watch this movie because it's like darker. It's like intense. There is a lot going on, but every time I watch it, I'm just like, damn, that was so good.
Yeah.
Like that's my like. It's why I moved it from 1 to 2, because like I don't even hesitate to put 1 on, but with 5, I'm like, am I ready for this? Like,
I don't know if it's been said already, but like this is where we get Boba Fett. This is where we get the most Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Boba Fett, you know.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's epic in its own right.
Yoda.
You get
Yeah.
you
Oh
get
yeah,
training.
he's so cute.
Yoda terrified me as a kid. Like I was
Me too.
legit terrified of Yoda.
That's hilarious. My dad and I love when he hits R2 with the stick. He's like, mine.
Yes. Did you say you have a favorite scene from this movie?
No, I don't have.
You just love it.
I just love it.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
think I
great.
can-
2 kisses,
Oh yeah.
Yep.
1 incestuous.
Yep. Is it incestuous if you don't know?
Yes.
No, but we know.
Having a
Yeah.
twin brother, I was that part.
Yeah.
It would
Ooh,
gross me out on
interesting.
another level.
Interesting.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's-
I don't like when it gets brought up, actually. Like, it
hilarious.
just,
Is this one?
They didn't
I
know.
love you,
They
I
didn't
know.
know.
still,
Yes.
I just
Okay.
don't like when it gets brought up. I don't think of
That's
it.
iconic.
I love you. I know
That's
it's iconic.
super
Yeah.
iconic. All around the Disney store,
Yes.
you see the matching shirts. Like, I love you. I know, and like
I know.
that's here.
That was also like improv, I think. That's a
so
Harrison Ford
Ford.
moment.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
love
Yeah.
that. The carbonite is cool too and terrifying. Like
Oh yeah.
you don't really know what's gonna happen to him or how he's gonna make it out of that, but it's
Darth, like, jokingly, he's like, he'll be fine if he survived the process of freezing. And then, like, check on him, like, he's fine. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I love that. All right, last one.
Yeah.
Where it all started.
Where it all started, episode 4, A New Hope. Maya, where would you put it?
7.
I have it 3.
5.
And I also have it 3. I don't
I
get
had
it.
this was, I believe this was, I've had this number 1 in the past.
Yeah.
I find myself reaching for it less. This is where it all started. Like, I'll never forget that opening sequence in the ship. All the 70s looking dudes, and then stormtroopers and Darth Vader. Mic drop.
Yeah.
Like,
Of all of the original movies, this is the one that I want to watch the most. It might have a little less special effects, less budget. The lightsaber battle's not that cool, but I just think I really appreciate it for what it is. Starting the whole thing, how impressive it is for the time. Kind of the same reason you were saying about episode 1, or yeah, it was episode 1,
Mm-hmm.
like being introduced to all these characters for the first time and seeing how they get set out on this adventure. I love it. It's fantastic. Taylor.
The number one thing that comes to mind when I think of this movie is Spaceballs.
Oh my god.
Yes.
That it just like sets
That
the
alone,
I'm
right?
like,
Like-
oh yeah, the desert, everyone meeting, yeah, Death Star exploding. I like it. That's solid 5, I think.
yeah. I think where we all have it makes sense.
I
Yeah.
watched Spaceballs before I watched Star Wars.
That-
And I
I'm-
loved Spaceballs.
I was about to say, I'm sure I watched this first, and then my dad showed me Spaceballs because he thought I would understand it, and I understood Spaceballs, and I was like, wait, I think I kind of get that one now. So then I went back and watched it, because, like, I don't know, so, like, when I'm trying to remember details, too, I'm not that confident talking about it, because I feel like I might quote Spaceballs or something and think that that's what happened, but I like it. It's good. It's a start.
Yeah.
When I met Maya, and I was trying to decide if she was allowed to stay or not,
Yeah.
and I said, "Have you seen Star Wars?" And she said, "I tried watching it once, but I fell asleep." And I'm just like, obviously, immediately offended.
Uh-huh.
Now, I did not give up hope at this point. I was like, "We're gonna watch it," but
You had a new hope.
I had a new hope.
I was thinking the same thing. I didn't want to interrupt because I didn't want to throw him off, but I was thinking the same thing.
That's amazing.
But to be fair, like that first movie, like without me hyping you up, like it still is like 7
Yeah.
to you, and we just had to get through that so that you could fall in love with episode 5.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's all good.
Yeah.
And now you're ranking all of Star Wars.
I know. Come a long way.
Look what they roped us
Oh.
into.
I think it's amazing. Maya, I know you stopped to say, but I just think it's amazing how much. Obviously, Ethan and I can talk about this stuff forever, and this isn't, please don't take this sexist. It's just like, since we did rope you guys into this, like, I love how much you guys have had to say about all of these Star Wars properties. It's amazing. Like, I never would have imagined we could do this with our girlfriends.
your girls.
When Ethan and I were
That's what you're
geeking
saying,
out about
right?
it someday.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to say it like
Because
that.
we're women.
I know. I only thought that because you said that.
Oh man, Maya, bring us home with your thoughts on A New Hope.
Okay. I didn't watch it until I was like
Older.
think older, yeah. Like maybe I think I watched it like in senior year of high school. That's when I like fell asleep watching it, and I never went back to it until I met you. So
welcome.
I like the movie. It's iconic. I think when I was making my list, I can totally see why people would rank this 1, 2, 3. Like, it's a classic, it's a go-to, everything. I think the only reason I had it at 7 was because there's just other stuff that I personally would put on before I watch 4. It's not one that I like reach for. But yeah, I don't know. I love it. It's an introduction to all our favorite characters. So
Yeah.
You love Luke.
I do love Luke. Yeah, Luke is another favorite of mine.
You're into the Skywalkers.
Yeah.
Oh, so Rey.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I think she said she doesn't like Rey, actually.
No. He's the fake Skywalker. Get your name out of your mouth.
I like Rey.
Oh, is that you?
I'm the one who
Oh.
said
She
that.
she had potential for me, but like they just gave her no depth. Like if we're gonna go back to Rey, like yeah, she just had no depth for me. So like I liked her, and then bam, it just kind of fell off.
So, after all that, in last place is The Last Jedi. 18th, just a quarter point above that, we have The Rise of Skywalker. 17th, Andor. 16th, Solo. 15th, The Book of Boba Fett. 14th, Obi-Wan Kenobi. 13th, Ahsoka. 12th, The Force Awakens. 11th, The Bad Batch, with an average score of 11, so that's spot on, perfect.
Hey.
10th is Attack of the Clones. 9th, Return of the Jedi. 8th, The Mandalorian. I thought that'd be higher. 7th
That is gonna move up next time.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
With
7th
more content coming out too.
is The Clone Wars. 6th is Rogue One. I'm happy with that.
I'm sorry.
I think I'm happy with that. I think that's...
Because it's also gonna move up for me, I think.
Yeah. 5th, we have A New Hope. 4th, Rebels. Wow, Rebels is 4th. That's crazy. 3rd is The Empire Strikes Back. 2, Revenge of the Sith. And our number 1, Hebrew Rebels' favorite Star Wars property is The Phantom Menace, with an average score of 2. Almost definitive.
I was really afraid I was gonna like skew it up super high and feel really bad.
Me too.
But that I was very happy about that.
Yeah.
And not just because my number 1 was 1, because I really like was okay with that, but like our list as a whole, I'm very proud of.
Me too. I think it's respectable for sure. And
Yeah,
I love that we have this. Like, we can reference this, we can add things to it, and we can change our numbers eventually if we ever need to. Like, I can't wait to see how this evolves over time.
seriously. Good job, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you guys for joining us on this. I'm glad we have 4 people to kind of build out the Hebrew Rebels definitive list. If you guys enjoyed this, I hope you did. Please consider checking out Climbing the Ranks on Patreon. We're going to do a show every month where we rank different things, from movies to TV shows to foods to rides. We'll see. But check that out. This has also been the Hebrew Rebels podcast, where every week we get together and just talk about whatever we want to. Probably some nerdy stuff. That's what we love the most. But check out our socials on HebrewRebels.com, all that good stuff. Share our shorts. But I've got nothing else. My name is Jordan. This is
Taylor.
And my name is Ethan with
Maya.
Until next time.
Welcome to the Rebellion.